Well, here we are. We're still grinding. And today I want to share with you the beginning, what I have been finding out, and of course, all the details of what I'm about to embark on. Before I get started, please don't forget to check out my website, jaysaudiolab.com, for more used high-end audio equipment. I am sure I have something for some of you out there that can certainly improve the performance of your system. I actually want to use this opportunity to brainstorm with all of you watching me. So if you have any constructive feedback, please comment below. Let me know your thoughts as I begin to explain to you what we will be doing here over the next 2.5 to 3 months. So I had a contractor come and pay me a visit about a week ago. And at that point in time, I only had an idea in my head. I did not have the 3D model that you're seeing on your screen right now, which you gotta give me kudos, man. I created it. I learned on my own, okay? I punched a few holes in the wall because of being frustrated with the software, but my iPad M4 actually delivered. So I have a very good 3D model of what I'm visualizing. So anyway, after I got done doing that, and now have a visual of what I am thinking, okay? Because it is important that the contractor also has a vision with you, okay, of what you're thinking about. And so I reached out to a company called Acoustic Science. They basically gave me some interesting insights as to what I should be doing with my room in order to keep vibration from happening around the walls, if that makes sense. They are extremely knowledgeable when it comes to creating the right room, the right environment for your sound. So let me go over as far as what that is. So the name of the process is called ISO wall. Okay, an ISO wall is nothing else than two dry walls, basically screwed together. So let me demonstrate a little bit of what we're talking about here. So for instance, right, you have here the frame, right? It's the frame of the structure. If you have sound waves, if you have a sound system in here, and let's say all you have is your drywall screwed onto these beams, what happens is, believe it or not, bass pressurizes the room and it makes the walls vibrate. When the walls vibrate, so does this. And you really don't want to have that issue because it does create bass issues. There are many anomalies that occur when you have that in-room vibration. And so what they are basically going to be helping me with is to create an environment where the walls absorb a lot of this issue. The drywall itself will be completely decoupled from these beams. So I'm going to be ordering this huge kit. So what it is are these channels that get attached on these beams, right, that go across. You're seeing them on your screen right now. And these channels essentially are what basically support the first drywall, the first layer. So it gets put on those channels. So that's step number one. Step number two is to put these pads, these squares, on the actual drywall, the first drywall. And those squares will basically glue the second drywall on top of the first drywall. Now, of course, you can't leave the structure like that, right? So you have to make sure you put screws to basically attach these two drywalls together. Now, the key here is to make sure that you do not screw that second layer of drywall onto the beam, because if you screw it onto the beam, you essentially have damaged the benefits of this decoupling effect. So you got to make sure that when you screw them together, you're screwing them somewhere along here so that when the screws go from the first drywall to the second, you're doing it right here. You're not doing it here. So you're doing it like this, right? That way the two drywalls stay together. Now the same thing is happening with the roof. Now you're looking at the roof right now. It is a huge, tall ceiling here, guys. It is approximately 16 to 18 feet tall, very tall ceiling. And I'm going to drop a ceiling. I'm going to definitely have a drop ceiling. The dimensions that I'm thinking about for the two rooms are going to be 24 by 17 by 11. So the ceilings are going to be approximately 11 feet tall. And right here, what you're seeing is approximately 17 feet. So this part, once we put the double drywalls right here, and we knock this down, because you see all these beautiful shelves are gonna go. They're gonna be completely taken down. So from here to there is going to be approximately 17.5 feet in terms of the width of the room, which I find completely acceptable for this perfect ratio, which again, it's 24 by 17 by 11. Now, when it comes to the roof, here is something that has been unfortunately been creating a lot of like questions for me. Okay, and I want you guys to answer me in the comments section. Some of you that have seen this room, okay, have essentially told me that it would be cool to keep the windows, right? So we have 4 windows, as you can see, on either side of the structure, right? So we have 4 windows. Some of you have told me, Jay, if you can keep those windows, I think it'll make the room just nicer. A lot of you feel very lonely in your listening rooms because you have no contact with the outside world. But I was told that if I kept the windows, it'll give the entire feel of the room much more of a living room, if you will, okay? But my biggest concern, as you know, and hopefully I don't fall, don't laugh, okay? My biggest concern, I'm stepping on magical subs, they'll survive. This is my biggest concern, guys. See that? It doesn't feel like it's thick glass. And also the leakage that will occur, right? Sound will essentially exit the room, okay? Now, I have been told by some of you that there are some special double like sided glass, special glass that doesn't allow for sound to leak. And so if you know of these companies, I want you to drop it down in the comments section if you have used specific glass that allows for that to not occur. Because ideally, I don't want to disturb my neighbors, although these are estates, so houses are pretty spread apart. That doesn't mean I still want the sound to escape. I would prefer to keep as much sound inside the room as possible. And so the idea would be to put like special sealing across the frame of this window to allow for no sound to escape, and maybe order some thick glass so that I can retain these beautiful windows. Now let me get down and make sure I don't bust my ass here. Yep. Oop. All right. Oh, I didn't. So the idea is to hopefully retain the windows. Okay. Do you guys think that's a better idea, to keep the windows, or do you think I should just go all out and make the rooms completely enclosed with no visibility to the outside world? Drop a comment, okay? I want to know what you guys think. I may even put up a poll so you guys can vote. Keep the windows or delete them completely and forget about it. Okay, so now, speaking of the roof, I just said that the ceiling would be approximately 11 feet tall. Now, 11 feet tall is, so you know, it's probably going to be around here. That's about 11 feet. We already measured it yesterday, right? So in reality, I would have, if I decide to delete the windows, I would have to have them seal them and basically create a frame right there and put drywall right on top of it, like with the same idea as what we talked about, meaning the ISO wall procedure. So I prefer to keep the windows if possible, because I think it's kind of cool to open the door to the room and not even have the lights on, actually have natural light inside the room. I think it's kind of cool. I don't know how that affects the temperature of the room. That's another thing I was thinking about. I don't know if that's going to make the room hotter, meaning my AC will work much harder. Those are things that I just don't have an answer for yet. Now, moving on to the next part of the project, which is really something that is very important, okay, and that would be my electrical. All right, this panel is here. Don't know what it runs. Again, I'm still unpacking, okay? I don't know what the hell this runs. All I can do is read what it says here. Now, this panel, clearly, and I think you guys would agree, I wouldn't want this panel to be inside the room. I think it would look tacky. So we have to relocate it, right? So I would have to move this entire panel all the way, and follow me, all the way here to this corner, right? This corner. That way, it's out of sight. Remember, it's 2 rooms. So if the rooms are 24 in length, 24 feet in length, I am probably gonna end up with both rooms right here. So I'm gonna probably end up with a wall right here, leaving me this space for storage, right? So I don't mind having the electrical panel there because it's not gonna be inside of any of the 2 rooms, right, that I'll have divided anyway. Now, of course, that presents issues. That means all of this wiring that you see here, they're gonna have to rework this wires. All these things need to be done. See this? This is actually a pipe. Water runs through here to the outside where there is a hose. So all of this needs to be relocated. All this needs to be taken down. See all these beautiful shelves? These are expensive things. These shelves are heavy duty. They need to be knocked down. Think about how much wood I'm gonna be wasting. Maybe I'll hang on to a lot of it because I can repurpose it at some point. So maybe I'll tell him, listen, leave me the wood in the best shape possible because I might need to use these. Now, if you're wondering, what are we doing with the roof? Okay, so the plan with the roof will be to, once we drop the ceiling, hopefully at around 11 feet, the idea with the roof will be to keep the area above, which should be approximately another 5 feet maybe. The idea is to keep that as storage so that all these boxes that you see here, when they're empty, they go up above. And then that section at the end will be for like the crates that are empty, right? The big speaker crates. So that way I don't have to keep renting storage units because, full disclosure, I was spending $850 a month on 2 storage units to essentially store all of this stuff that you see here. $850, and I did that for 2 years straight. So what's that? Almost like $24,000 around there, $23,000. That's a lot of money that I dropped on that. So I would prefer to try to leverage as much of my space as I possibly can without having to be going to a storage facility. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to use my big, home to basically store all of my crates and all of the equipment that I have here. As far as the floor, let me show you the floor. Okay, so for the floor, this is what I'm going to be doing. Now, these were left behind by the previous owner, but these are great things. These are called Duralux, waterproof luxury vinyl. See that right there? That is essentially what I'm going to be doing for the floor. I'll tell you why. I'm tired of carpet. I'm sick of carpet on the floor. I'm sick of it. I don't want any more carpet. I've already lived with it. And to be frank with you, I am not the most careful individual when it comes to dragging equipment on the floor. And so I did put a heavy duty carpet in the last lab, which really had great durability, but I don't think it adds anything to the presence of the room. I think carpet in general, especially heavy duty carpet, tends to just not look great. Clearly nothing like this. Clearly it won't look like this, okay? It will not have anything like this that gives more presence, more beauty, more room aesthetics. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna laminate the whole floor, all this slab of concrete with this. Okay, we're gonna do this entire thing. That way, when I drag a huge crate and it breaks and I damage it, all I gotta do is replace this. And I'm back in business. I don't have to worry about anything else or having to tear the whole carpet because I destroyed it, right? So to me, this seems to be the better option. Also, remember, by having this, I can still couple the speakers onto the concrete. If I'm spiking them, which clearly I'm not gonna use spikes because obviously I would damage this, but if I put these discs that go under the spikes, I'm still on the concrete surface, right? And to me, that gives better performance. Last thing that I wanted to comment on, which I know many of you have talked about, is the air conditioning. Yes, I'm gonna be dropping, hopefully, a beautiful ceiling in here that I already discussed with my contractor. It's gonna be very modern. I don't want any of the ghetto old looking ceilings. I want something really good looking. I want something that when you walk in here, you're like, wow, this is next level. This is beautiful. This is a gorgeous looking room, 2 rooms. And so I may even color the rooms differently. I don't know. I may just paint them in different colors. I haven't gotten that far yet, but I would definitely love to differentiate the rooms. So my intent is, for example, on this side, I want to have the more affordable room, if that's a thing on my channel. And then as you walk through the double doors that will be here on the wall, there will be double doors that, or maybe a 40-inch door perhaps, because I still need to remember lug equipment from that side to this side. This would be where my cost no object system will be. This will be the system, the crazy system that I prefer to have it here because I don't expect to be switching a lot of stuff in and out from this system. It would be more of my reference system for a long time, right? So this system here would be the one that I would be changing a lot of components, probably doing like tube gear, affordable speakers, affordable DACs. This would be the fun room where I would play more, okay? That would be more for like serious clients that want to hear a high caliber system. They're really interested in purchasing it through me. This is where they would come, right? That doesn't mean you can't hear it. Yes, you can listen to it, but this would be more of the approachable room. 2 themes for sure. I got to think about 2 themes. I'm going to work with my wife as far as the color schemes to differentiate both rooms. I'm thinking a very beautiful structure, very beautiful feel to the entire room. It's going to cost me an arm and a leg. When I get there, you guys will be part of the ride. Once I have come up with an agreement and the right figures for my contractor and I to do the work, I'll start filming parts of the process. You'll start seeing all this being taken down. You'll start seeing all the electrical be moved. I'm gonna document all of that for you guys to follow along. I just wanted to give you this initial video so you understand what I'm thinking. That said, things may change along the way, so keep that in mind, okay? What you see here on your screen, this 3D rendering, the design that I did, is so that you have a high level idea of what I'm thinking in my head, but we may have to switch things, you know, as we go along. I don't really know what the end product will look like, but you do have an idea now with this design that you're seeing on your screen, what I'm thinking about. Last but not least, we cannot forget about the importance of the door. This door, which is 36 inches, will be replaced by probably a 40-inch or maybe even a wider door, and it will not open to the inside because remember, I'll have speakers right here, and I don't want some of you to come in here and knock down a speaker because that's going to be an expensive purchase that you're going to have to make. Okay, so the door will open to the outside, and I think I should have enough space for people to walk through here and obviously visit both rooms. So that's basically what I'm thinking. It's not going to be cheap, but I am going for, number one, the room performance. I am going for room aesthetics. Those 2 things will go hand in hand. And by the way, I understand that there are going to be some trade-offs. I understand that. Okay, I know that if I want the best performance imaginable, I should just get rid of the windows. I get that. Okay, but how much of the performance am I really losing by getting rid of the windows? Am I really losing half of the performance by keeping them? Is that what's going on? Tell me in the comment section. Have you heard a quite substantial reduction in performance by keeping the windows in your listening rooms? Or perhaps, which something that my wife also said, we could put acoustic drapes right on them, right? Acoustic drapes, and that we can actually open up with a push of a button, motorized. All 8 of them will just open up when I'm just hanging out here with you guys, right? When we're hanging out, I can just open them up with a push of a button. And when we're gonna do critical listening, I can just push a button and then some acoustic drapes right there would just close the windows off completely and we're back in business. So there are some ideas that I have. Of course, they are all very expensive. Nothing is cheap. Okay, and as you can see, before I go, I got a lot of gear that I need to sell. So if you're looking for used high-end gear, please let me know. I got some sim audio integrated, the latest sim audio integrated in the back. I don't know if you see the box over there. I got that. I have this Artisania audio stands that I wouldn't mind selling. I got the Magical Q subs. I got an Apex stereo amplifier, which is still my reference amplifier. The monos are what I'm gonna keep here. So I don't need to keep the stereo in the monos. So I got an Apex stereo. There are many other things that I have here. I got some Sabrina X's right here from Wilson Audio. These are Sabrinas. Okay, and I think I'm gonna use those in my home theater inside my home. So when I get to the home theater section, which we will cover probably early next year, I think maybe I'll use some Wilson Audio Sabrina X's next to the screen, and maybe some Wilson, the ones that hang on the wall. I don't remember, Alina, I can't remember the name of them. Maybe I'll use that. I'm thinking about doing a Wilson home theater setup, something smaller for the inside, or I may even do, which I was thinking about this possibility, I was looking at Dyne Audio fully active speakers from Dyne Audio, doing the entire fully active speakers so that I don't need an amplifier. All I do is I would run lines from where the processor would be with an XLR into the back of each speaker. And the in walls, of course, I would need perhaps an amplifier to drive the Atmos speakers, excuse me. But a lot of work to do here, guys, as you can see, and I am going to take you along for the ride. As I said, the idea is to build 2 impressive rooms. They need to be good looking. I don't want something old school. I don't want something old. If they're gonna be old, I might as well just keep the room as it is and drop a carpet on the floor and plop the speakers and call it a day. Okay, I need to make sure it looks the part. So when I do the grand opening, hopefully end of the year, maybe in early January, you come in and you're like, man, this has been really well designed, Jay. You killed it. I have never seen something so pretty. And of course, good sounding as well. All right, so let me know your ideas. Comment below. Give me your ideas on the windows. Do I get rid of the windows? If I keep them, do you have any suggestions as far as companies that I can work with, as far as getting the right glass, something that's thicker, that can maintain a lot of this, of the sound? I don't want any sound to leak out of the structure, right? Let me know, or curtains or things like that I can utilize. I am counting on you to also give me a hand, okay? Because I don't know everything. Okay, I don't know everything. All right, and let me know your overall impressions of what I'm thinking about for the near future. All right, guys, so that's all I got for today. Thank you for your support, and I will be talking to you soon.